Good morning, welcome to Morning Review. This is Kim speaking on Thursday the 20th of October. So today we've got lined up in front of us, we got the MPC, MPC, ECB press conference at 1:30, which is the main part of the news, although prior to that at 12:45 we'll have the minimum bid rate, but we're not expecting to see too much coming from that. I would expect that the press conference will give us the volatility today. Before that though, for the UK we've got retail sales, and traders will be watching the retail sales numbers to see what the effect of Brexit is. Of course, everything's looking at the effect of Brexit at the moment, so there'll be quite a I should imagine focus on those retail sales figures this morning at 9:30. Okay, we're looking at the euro first then, and well, yesterday I think a bit of uncertainty about what may be said today. The euro's already sold off again this morning. It's already had a reasonable move this morning as well, so had about half of its daily range, average true range already. Now, at the moment, sorry, I'll come back to the dailies there. It's still looking like it's heading towards its S3 now. Of course, whatever's said later on at 1:30 may really give the markets a move one way or the other. So on the euro dollar, but I'm still favouring at the moment. Technically, the downside is the ideal here. However, when you look at the dailies, well, actually, we've almost got all of the downside that we'd expect. They've already hit the daily pivot and pretty close to air kiss the S1 there, so it leaves little in the way of initial targets. But if, as I say, later we start seeing the breakdown, the S3, monthly S3 seems like at least a decent target. It may even run through that if it's bad news. Alternatively, any rallies beyond the 34, and I'd start looking more bullish towards the previous trend line that I've drawn on this chart here. Okay, so euro, the pound. Well, the pound held on pretty well yesterday. It's ended up with this spinning top, which a bit bearish if anything. There was a divergence yesterday on the 4-hour Liz as well, which is still sort of sitting there, and we could see some lower movement coming off of this. Looks very indecisive, and it's one of those sort of transitional points I talk about in the markets, where you've really got that spinning top from yesterday. Today really already hit the daily pivot, but if it starts breaking down this sort of trend, it may do it as I'm talking. It'll be typical, but if it starts breaking down this line here, well, it could be down to the S1, back into that monthly S3, and maybe even lower. So we'll see how that runs this morning. For me to look bullish, really, I'd prefer the pound to be above its the upper trend line that would be drawn through these near-term candles here, and really above the daily pivot for me to be bullish on the pound. Okay, dollar yen. Dollar yen was selling off quite strongly yesterday. But well, it's already bounced. It just couldn't hold on to the gains, and or losses in the case. Diverged a little bit in the afternoon there, and from that point it was oversold. It pulled back to 21 and beyond. It's at the moment, well, it could roll back again. In the bigger picture, it hasn't broken the previous highs here, so there is the potential for rollover. Personally, I would be looking at it only if it breaks, looking at the short side, only if it starts breaking the trend there, and if we've got a correlation through the market. So if the euro and the pound start picking up again, I'd prefer to be trading it then, but otherwise I would just leave this at the moment. The downside maybe, well, alongside it's almost already up to its daily R1. Aussie dollar. The Aussie dollar finally managed to break that trend line I've been talking about yesterday. For quite some time I've been talking about this trend line running into horizontal resistance, and has rolled over again this morning. And arguably there's divergence sitting there on the 4 hourlies. and it's come off quite a long way. It's already gone through a daily pivot S1. But there is a chance we could see a bounce where it is, but again, I would only be looking at this if it's correlated with what the euro and the pound's doing. One thing the reason I don't trade the Aussie so much in the mornings is because so often it does this sort of the morning chop, so I'm less interested in trying to trade at that point. Canadian dollar. Well, Canadian dollar, it looks like it's putting in a daily pivot swing in terms of it closed where it was there, still pushing back up again here. Again, did pretty well at parts of yesterday, and then come the news, it rallied all the way back through. And well, I mean, we can look at oil here. Oil's still doing pretty well, but the Canadian dollar's not doing so well. Has got its daily pivot below us, so well, any sort of break of the 60-minute 8 may see me looking at shorts, but at the moment this is off my radar for today with what it's done. Until it does that, don't want to be chasing this upward movement. There is a potential resistance back into that 200, but even that's been tested before. Not a lot for me to look at on that at the moment. Okay, news-wise today, well, I've already covered the two main retail sales. UK retail sales at 9:30. There is a speaker at 1 o'clock, NBC member Sheffic speaking, due to speak on the panel discussion about reforming the financial services. So I'm likely to move the markets from that. But then at 1:30, as I said, we got the ECB press conference. Later on, at the same time actually, we got the Philly Fed manufacturing index and weekly unemployment claims, and followed by existing home sales, which don't create any volatility at all at the moment. So that's it for the day. Have a great one. Bye for now.